With Dragon Delves behind us, we are now on the cusp of a new book to be released for Dungeons & Dragons, Eberron, Forge of the Artificer. And today, we have the table of contents. And I firmly believe that Le Marchand was an artificer. GameMasters here, and do know up front that there will be spoilers in today's video. That said, I want to give a little information here about what this new Eberron book will be and what it won't be. First off, it's got a price tag of $30 US, and my cat is deciding he wants out now. Okay, where were we? Okay, it's got a price tag of $30 US if you just want the physical. Should you want just the digital, it's going to run you $20. And if you'd like the bundle of both the physical and the digital, you can grab that for $40. Now keep those prices in mind because I'm going to return to that cost in just a moment. The book itself is going to contain 5 subclasses, 5 revised species, 17 backgrounds for your characters, and 28 feats. There's a new spell, new bastion options, over 20 new monsters, and 9 magic items, and what they call a campaign framework based on Eberron's genres. The noir intrigue, sky high pulp, and political peril. Now, up to this point, we've been pretty spoiler-free. All of this information has been given away as part of their marketing material, but if you want to avoid what's in this on the table of contents and be surprised upon the release date, I'll tell you now, I'm about to show the table of contents. Eberron's Forge of the Artificer is broken down into 7 total chapters and an appendix of magic items, plus an introduction. And I'll show you where you can get a screenshot of this table of contents in just a bit. The introduction looks to show what the book is about, an overview of sorts. Plus, it shows the Draconic Prophecy, which can be found on the back cover of the collector's cover. But I'd imagine that what we'll see in this book is going to be a little bit different of a trade dress for it on the actual page. Chapter 1 covers the Artificer and the 5 subclasses, the Alchemist, Armorer, Artillerist, Battlesmith, and Cartographer, as well as a new spell. And if I was a betting guy, I'd wager that the spell that we will see is the Homunculus Servant, which lets you summon a homunculus servant, which is a tiny construct that will help you out in general tasks and even in combat. Chapter 2 looks to cover the various dragon marks, Greater, Siberus, and Marks of Mastery, as well as the various dragon mark feats. Dragon mark feats give to your character various benefits. For example, the Aberrant Dragon Mark lets you roll a 1d4 and when you make a Constitution save, and then you can add that 1d4's result to your save's roll. Plus, you'll gain a cantrip of your choice from the Sorcerer spell list, as well as a level 1 Sorcerer spell. Moreover, you'll always have those spells prepared, and when you cast that level 1 spell, you then expend a hit point die. You roll it, and should the number be even, then you're going to gain that much in temporary hit points, but should the result be odd, then whatever that number was, you'll do that much force damage to a single creature that is within 30 feet of you. Of course, if there is no creature that's within 30 feet of you, you yourself is going to take that damage. Chapter 2 also lists out the backgrounds and 5 species descriptions. The Changeling, the Kalashtar, Korovar, Shifter, and Warforged. Chapter 3 goes on to the bastion options, mobile bastions and special facilities, and I'm betting that the bastion that we'll see here is going to be in the form of airships. The next 3 chapters look to be more like setting-based chapters that ties in what we were previously describing as the noir intrigue, the sky high pulp, don't know why I have a hard time saying that, and political peril. As we look over chapters 4, 5, and 6, pause when you think you know which setting matches the genre, and let me know which ones you guys think matches it down in the comments. Chapter 4 covers the Charm Inquisitives, and I'm picking up on this specific key phrase here, the Inquisitive Agencies of Sharn. This almost makes me want to tie this in with the noir genre. I get almost a 1920s/1930s vibe from that. I know it's just a few words, but I still get that vibe. It stirs up images of movies like Sunset Boulevard and The Big Heat, of course in an Eberron setting. It looks like the final pages of this chapter gives an example of how one could run adventures in this genre. Chapter 5 covers the dragon-marked intrigue. Again, I'm picking up on the key words here, but it all looks to be about the various dragon-marked houses. House Cannith, House Civis, House Vidalis. It looks like 13 total houses in all. And this, to me, points to this chapter being all about political peril. House versus house. Like in Chapter 4, the last 2 pages gives an example of how to run adventures in this genre. This leaves the sky-high pulp remaining, I said at that time, for Chapter 6, which is called Moorgrave Expeditions. Looking at the key words here, and we've got 2 things. Towers and spires, which again gives evidence that it's all literally a sky-high element. Like the previous 2 chapters, the final 2 pages looks to give pointers on how to run this genre. Chapter 7 is all about airships, which again, I cannot help but feel will be the bastion option in this book. But as you can see, it talks about how to operate an airship, specific to crew members, how to repair an airship, what happens when you crash, combat, and perhaps this is something that we could even retrofit for Spelljammer. And it looks like we'll get 3 airship examples, the Lavender air cruiser and sky skiff. Well, I'm not having a good time talking today. And the Strider airship. Plus, it talks about upgrading an airship's hit points and armor class. But, looking at the last page of this chapter, page 110, and it lists as journeys in the skies, travel pace, and aerial challenges. So perhaps this one is the sky-high pulp genre. But let me know what you guys think. Did I miscategorize those genres to the chapters? Anyway, what's your opinion about that down in the comments? Let me know. The last section of this book is the appendix of magic items. And while it's, I really hope that it's not just a repurposing of Artificer magic that we got in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, because, listen, I gotta be honest, there is a lot of hints in this table of contents that mimics a lot of the information in Tasha's book. But we've got the Boots of the Winding Path that lets you teleport up to 15 feet, the Helm of Awareness that gives you advantage on your initiative rolls, and the spell refueling ring, which when worn lets you recover 1 expended spell slot as an action. But then too, if you reference back to the chapter 1's list of subclasses, the alchemist, the armorer, the artillerist, and the battlesmith are all in Tasha's Book of Everything. And I do hope that there are some updates to those subclasses and not just a collection of them compiled into this book. They would have to be updated for the new 5.5, right? Anyway, the remaining portion of the table of contents shows the pages on which various sidebars appear, as well as on what pages the monsters in this book are located. Remember, we're getting some new monsters too. And this all leads me to my first cliffhanger that I brought up at the very beginning of the video. Okay, it's got a price tag of $30 US if you just want the physical. Should you want just the digital, it's going to run you $20. And if you'd like the bundle of both the physical and the digital, you can grab that for $40. Now keep those prices in mind, because I'm going to return to that cost in just a moment. Eagle-eyed viewers, did you happen to catch the page number of the appendix? It's on page 112. And there are no other page numbers listed that are higher than that. Now, jump over to the order page on D&D Beyond, and it states right there that it is a 112-page expansion that unlocks your Workshop of the Arcane. $30 for a 112-page book. Now, I can tell you right here, right now, I will certainly be doing a Is It Worth It video for this one once I've gotten it in for review. I've never been a fan of buying blind, so not being able to thumb through it, that's going to be a risk. But one that I'm happy to make so that you all can decide for yourselves if it's worth spending your hard-earned cash on and if it's going to work for you and your table. Now, while we're on D&D Beyond, I want to address my second cliffhanger that I brought up just a bit ago as well. Eberron's Forge of the Artificer is broken down into 7 total chapters and an appendix of magic items, plus an introduction. And I'll show you where you can get a screenshot of this table of contents in just a bit. Now, my eyes stink. I can barely read things on tiny images, and I'm a curious person. So when I ran across the various images on the D&D Beyond Marketplace, I wanted to see, as specific, of course, to this Eberron book, I wanted to see a slightly larger version so that I could actually see what was being presented. The first image is an overall splash of the cover, and that's cool. I've seen that one. The next three depict what I'm assuming are going to be images that are found within the book itself. The next image is of the back cover, and that's great, but it's way too small for me to be able to read. Like I said, my eyes, they kind of suck. The next 3 pages are what I assume to be pages that are going to be from inside the book. But again, it's all way too small. Maybe if I squint and got like this close to the screen, I could read it. But going back to the back cover, and I can hit this little magnifying glass to enlarge it, but it's still too small. When I go through and look at the rest of these, again, they're also too small. But if I right-click and go Open to Image, and there we go. It's a much larger image, and I can actually read it. Plus, I can enlarge it to make it much larger and read, see? So what I want to look at next is, in advancing to the next page, this shows, again, if I write Open Image and New Tab, I can read it very clearly, and I like that. Same thing with the next one. And this looks to be page 18 of Chapter 1, and it shows the Battlesmith and what we're going to, be able to see there. But this page looks like it's also Chapter 1, and if I had to guess, I would say that the artwork back to back, that this is a page spread. And then if I go to the last one, Open Image in New Tab, and this is going to show the beginning page of Chapter 2 and character options. But here's what I want to really look at. If you take a look at these numbers, we've got 6, 5, 4. I'm looking here specifically at the URL, right? This is 4, and this one is 2. Well, what if we change that 2 to a 1 and hit enter? That shows the front of the book, albeit it's a little bit slanted, but it still shows the front of the book. Now, we know what 2 is. What if we change that to a 3? And voila. We have the table of contents in all of its magnified glory. Now, if you're curious, I've actually gone through, let's see, the last one here is 6. I've actually gone to 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way up to 112. And sadly, all we get is this file not found. So unfortunately, that's all there is. Should you want to check out the table of contents for yourself and look it over with a fine-toothed comb, now you know how. But you may want to hurry over. Who knows how long those assets are going to remain up there. Oh, and I'm going to give one more cliffhanger. I've got a couple of questions for you. But first, I want to thank everyone for watching today's video. I especially want to thank all of my YouTube members and Patreon supporters, as their generous contributions to the channel have made it so that I didn't need to take on any sponsored ads for today's video. If you would like to support the channel by becoming a YouTube member or a Patreon supporter, or if you would like to join my GameMasters Discord, I'll leave links down below in the description, as well as down below me here in my little talking box. Now, to wrap up my final cliffhanger, I've got 2 questions for you. One for Dungeon Masters and one for players. Dungeon Masters, if you were to run a full campaign using only what we may be getting in a 112-page Eberron book, do you think that there is enough material here for you to build something unique? For players, which part of what we've gone over today has you the most excited to know more about? The feats, subclasses, magic items? And a bonus surprise third question for everyone. From what we've seen of the table of contents, does this seem like too much recycled content and too short of a book, with it being just 112 pages? And in your view, based on the number of pages, do you feel that it's going to be worth that $30 price tag? I guess that was a fourth question, though. Anyway, let's keep the conversation going. Talk to me down in the comments. Let me know your answers and opinions. And until next our paths cross, may your homunculus servant not short circuit. Oh, and watch this video next.